Hi everyone. In today's lesson we are going to learn how to draw a dragon's eye. To get started, we're going to start by drawing the curve. And we're going to add two more lines. And then our last line, of course, is going to be right down here. So we have made a quadrilateral shape. There are four sides, but each side has a slight arch to it. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. So there are our four sides to our quadrilateral, but we are going to make them into an arch. Each one has a slight arch or bend to it. That is going to give us the foundation for our dragon eye. Right. Remember, when we draw, we want to draw nice and light so that when we erase, we do not have ghost lines. Ghost lines are from where if you press down hard on your pencil and you go and you erase it, you can still tell that there was a line there. Alright, so our next step is going to be drawing two more lines that are going to follow the arch. So the first one's going to be right here. It's going to follow that top arch, and then one more that goes around it like that. Alright, so this will be where our first set of scales are. We're also going to set up some scales right along here and right down here as well. So we've just drawn some lines to mark where we are going to be doing our scales. Alright, so for our scales, we are going to be drawing slight drawing squares, but they're rounded. They're not full circles. They do have sides to them. It's just all of the corners are kind of rounded off. There's an arch. There's not any straight hard lines. We're going to do this for this entire row here. The sides are, the scales are not all going to be the same size, and that's okay. I'm going to come down here, and as we get closer to this bottom part here of the eye, we're going to make our scales get a little bit smaller. And we'll have these scales also be nice and small. Also going to make a little tear duct right here before continuing along the bottom of the eye. The bottom of the eye is going to have smaller scales, but they will build outwards once we get these drawn in. So down here, our next set of scales, you'll see, are getting larger. They might be for every two scales, for half a scale, 1.5 scales. The point is they are getting larger. They're not tripling in size, but more like doubling. Same thing over here on the side. We'll let the scales get just a little bit larger. And then over here, it'll be the same thing. Our scales will get smaller as they near the bottom portion of our dragon's eye. It's okay if we don't meet this baseline right here, because we can always erase that because it was just a guideline. You can add some tinier scales in there if you want. Like before, as we go outwards, our scales are going to get larger. Come up here. These scales are going to be much larger, but I can add in a couple halfway. We can erase our guidelines that we no longer need. Again, we can add in some smaller filler scales. Alright, so we have the rough draft of our scales mostly in place. Now we're going to turn our attention to the actual eye. So for here, we are going to add in some defining lines right here. This would be the actual eyeball. And then I'm going to add in our pupil. And we can add in some highlight for like where the light might be shining. So a lot of our light reflecting in the eye right around here. Alright. And now we're ready to color. To color our dragon eye, we are going to use crayons. I am going to start with the inside of the eye. I'm going to start with the inside of the eye, coloring in what would be the whites of the eye. I'm making yellow because that is the artistic choice that I am choosing. Now right here where the light is shining, I have two choices. I can color over it with white and then add the yellow on top, or I can choose a lighter color of yellow. So I'm going to choose the lighter color of yellow. And then for the actual eye, the color part of the eye, I am going to do purple. Remember that purple and yellow are complementary on the color wheel, so these colors will look good together. And I'm just kind of outlining the colored part of the eye. The pupil, of course, will be black. Remember, as you're coloring, you want to make sure you're filling in all of the white space. You're staying inside the lines. You took all this hard work to draw your picture. Make sure you finish strong, so you're not losing any of the detail that you have put into your picture. Now you might notice I haven't colored the purple as dark as I did the yellow part of the eye, and there's a reason for that. I'm going to use two different types of purple to add more detail to the eye. Looks like I will have to come back with a black crayon because I have misplaced my black, but that's okay. For the scales, you are going to choose two colors. One color you are going to use to outline all of your scales. And then you're going to use the other color to color in the scales. I'm not going to make you sit here and watch me color. So you should be able to complete this artwork on your own. Make sure you remember to put your name in the bottom right hand corner. Grab a pencil that writes. And I can't wait to see your creations. Thank you.